He has 6 of this in Lagos. And at a point, he decided to fulfill a lifetime ambition, which is to also have one in London, the fashion capital of Europe. David Wej Lagos, just off Oxford Street in London. It's MyTasty Naija. So we're at David Wej Lagos, or is it David Wej London?
David Wej Lagos.
Lagos. So the Lagos is key.
Yeah,
no matter where you set it up.
Of course.
Okay. And when did you birth this baby?
About 18 years ago in Lagos. So that's why David Wej Lagos. Lagos is very important.
Okay. And I've read stories where you kind of say you started this in the boot of your car. I've read that in some of the publications you've done in the past.
Yeah.
And was this on campus? Was this while you were working? When exactly did you see that gap in the market that make you think this could work for me?
Okay. The plan I had was to build a career in telecoms, but fashion has always been my baby. Let me put it that way. So, having worked about 7 years, I didn't find fulfillment. I felt, okay, let me start thinking of plan B. And plan B became David Wej. And of course, I saw the gap in the market where to get a good suit was kind of difficult in Nigeria. I had to send people abroad to get me the kind of suit I want to wear.
Just out of curiosity, where would the typical Lagosian then buy suits or stuff like that? Menswear?
No, then there were stores available, but the price point wasn't there. So one of the things I looked at was it has to be affordable for the working class to be able to afford.
So that was intentional?
Definitely.
Because the first thing I get when a lot of people, I say, oh, let's go to David Wej, they say that the prices are quite cool. And it's the same in Lagos as well.
Yeah.
And around what time was this, roughly, before you launched your first store?
Around 18 years ago.
18 years ago?
Yeah.
So your first store actually started 18 years ago?
The first store started about 16 years ago. But the David Wej was birthed around 18 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, I sold from the boot of my car, moving from one bank, head office or branch to the other after work.
Were these items you were designing and creating yourself, or you were just kind of getting them from abroad and selling?
I was designing and creating them myself.
In Nigeria?
Yes.
So you knew from then you could do it locally and get it done?
Yes.
Do you know the order in which you started each branch? The order and year? Let me give you a little test.
Each brand or product?
Each branch.
Yes, of course. September 2008, Amadou Bello was birthed. December 14th, 2008.
Same year,
Bode Thomas. March 2009, GRA Keja. April 2010, Lekki store.
Lekki was beginning to boom at the time.
Yes, we're one of the first set of people that
set up shop
had
in Lekki.
stores in Lekki Phase 1 then. Then, of course, after setting up in Lekki Phase 1 for a while, I felt I was practically everywhere. Then we had to re-strategize the business and we started looking at relocating from GRA Keja to Okpebi Road.
Okay.
Relocating from Bode Thomas to Adeniro Ogunsoya and all that.
All still in the same zone though,
yes. Relocating Lekki from Admiralty Way to Admiralty Road and all that. Then, of course, we had the MM2 airport. We looked at Yaba as well. Yeah.
So those are the 6 you have. So in a window of 5 years, or 6, you set up the 6 stores.
Yes.
And for you to be setting up the stores, obviously business is good. Business must be good, yeah. Okay. So, but now you're in London. When did the London bug bite you?
We had customers, we're shipping orders from Nigeria to London on a daily basis.
Okay.
So I felt London is like second home. Why not just look at setting up something there? This was before COVID. Of course, when COVID came, I still felt, look, the idea should still remain. And I still decided to come.
That must have been a little scared though, for COVID. The economy just seemed to like
yes.
went on a low year.
I wasn't so scared because I felt COVID was going to be a thing of the past. Because we felt, okay, 1 month, 2 months is going to be gone. But of course, it stayed for years and changed the way things are done and the way of life.
Everything went online.
Everything changed.
But you're still here.
We're still here.
Why did you pick this spot? This is a high-end, very, very high-end part of town for fashion or anything in the creative sector. Why here?
Okay, one of the things I looked was 2019, I came around to see what's happening around. And I felt we didn't want the main high street like Oxford Street. We wanted somewhere a bit off where people can easily access and spend time in shopping. They can park their cars and all that. So this was a decision before COVID, let me put it that way. So we still decided, okay, let's still maintain that decision during COVID because we were here actually during COVID. Yeah.
So you're just 100 meters off, you're on Great Portland Street, just 100 meters off Oxford Street. And you've been here 4 years now?
4 years, yes.
4 years. What's it been like? What's the difference, the fundamental difference between running this business in Nigeria and running it in the UK, in London?
It's completely different. When I came, of course, I came with the Nigerian strategy, but of course, I had to unlearn so many things to start learning how things are done in the UK. Most especially looking at sustainability of product, sustainability of the brand itself. Those are two very important aspects in the business.
Is it fair to say it's more competitive in London than in Nigeria?
It's more competitive in London, definitely, than Nigeria. And I can still tell you that Nigeria is still an emerging market, looking at over 200 million people. And let's say over, I don't think we have up to 10,000 fashion brands yet.
In Nigeria?
In Nigeria. So even if we have 10,000 fashion brands in Nigeria, they can't still cater for 200 million people.
So there's still room?
So there's still room.
So any more David Wej stores popping up in Lagos at Nigeria at any point?
Definitely.
The UK?
UK, the strategy is changing because one of the things I wanted to look at was to have a blueprint for the global market. And the market seems to be pointing directions at the US market.
Okay.
You were here earlier.
Another very competitive one.
DHL
is
picking orders. Most of those orders go to the US.
From the UK?
From the UK. So one of the things we're looking at is UK is going to definitely be a hub, but we eventually realize it can't be a hub for the US market. The US market has to be on its own.
Okay. Well, you can only break yourself down into a certain amount of parts. And how do you intend to deal with that?
Of course, we're looking at...
As an African-run business, obviously, yeah.
Yeah, we're looking at, of course, more people coming on board. We're going to have partners. We're going to have investors. The most important thing first is to stabilize the business in the UK, which is still a journey. And once that is done, but of course, like I said, fingers are pointed at the US market. So
I'm a fan of, I'm actually in another David Wej. I'm a fan of what you do, but a lot of women also say they've seen some of the stuff you do, and you know I was gonna go there.
Okay.
And some of them, I do know you have certain items here that kind of like are unisex.
Yeah.
But I know a lot of women love the designs you make for men and look to have that chance to be able to get the same for women. Are you looking in that direction at any point?
When I started David Wej, David Wej was actually a unisex brand. But I realized I was struggling with the female side of the business. And at that time, I wasn't really ready to bring a female creative director on board because I wanted to get the men's apparel right. So I dropped female, focused on men, saw a lot of progress, and we're still seeing that progress. So for now, we're not looking at directions for women. However, the world is changing. There's some collections that will probably be unisex. We have that already, but more focus on men.
Awesome. I think this is the time I'm going to walk around the shop right now and see one or two things that you have here.
Yeah.
If you would like us to feature your restaurant, food truck, or your eatery on the show, or you want to advertise or even sponsor the program, send details to this email on screen and we will come back to you.
DJ Abbas.
Oh, awesome.
Thank you for stopping by.
Absolute
You've chosen
pleasure.
what you want.
Yes.
This is for you.
Yes.
And this is for Mama Toby.
Thank you so
Hope
much.
you like
Sure,
it.
you're gonna put a big smile on her.
That's
Thank
fine.
you.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to David Wej Lagos in New York at some point.
Definitely.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
David Wej to the world.
I like it like that.